There we
There
go.
we go. Second time's a charm. I apologize.
Okay.
Jeremy, welcome to the Satoshi's Journal podcast. How are you today?
Doing just fine. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And Mary, of course, my famous co-host. Thank you for being here. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Saidah. Hey.
So, Jeremy, Mary, I'll kick things off with the first question. Why Bitcoin? What's your Bitcoin story?
Bitcoin story. So first and foremost, Jeremy Garcia, founder and CEO of Satoshi's Journal. I am a civil engineer by trade. I've done some agricultural engineering, and currently I'm a project engineer. And I live on a small farm in a quaint town in New Mexico. And I went down the rabbit hole, unbeknownst to myself, not really on Bitcoin, but on money a little over 10 years ago. My parents taught me what most people, I think, what most parents teach their kids: to save money, be frugal, and balance a checkbook, the basics. But I had to learn what money was by studying it. I studied monetary history, started studying when I learned that money was broken in the form of no matter how much I saved, unless I was saving as much as inflation was, my money was just eroding away. So learned about gold, learned about silver, started saving in that in lieu of fiat. And then when I found out about Bitcoin, it was around 2015, a yahoo.com article that talked about it and its association with the dark web and the illicit activity thereof. And that's what turned me off. So I didn't resurrected until a little before November of 2020. In my study of gold, I followed a gentleman named Mike Maloney. Highly recommend him to learn about money. And he actually, one of his videos, he talked about Bitcoin and him buying it. And since he was buying it, and he's a gold bug, that was what kind of made me rethink things. And that's when I started just buying. Also, I bought a little bit, but I started really researching it. And then I really just fell down the rabbit hole probably and started buying more after I learned more about it. January of 2021, a little bit after Elon Musk bought his first amount. So, and I'm still learning about it every day. But that's the quick rundown.
Wow, that's really cool. I like the fact that you learned about money very young. Not many of us have that opportunity, so that's really cool. So my question now is, why Satoshi's Journal?
Okay, so I basically live, breathe, eat, dream, sleep Bitcoin. And I started writing for Bitcoin Magazine about a year ago, a little bit less. And I wanted to just teach about Bitcoin. I've always wanted to teach about money. And in doing so, I started a retirement blog. I love retirement. And I like to teach money. And because Bitcoin is money, it's the best money ever invented, ever created, however you guys, a person wants to believe. I said, well, how can one person educate as many people as possible? I knew, of course, the internet's a powerful tool, but one person can't do it. So I by happenstance, come upon my partner, one of my partners, Olu Washigan Kasamani from Nigeria, the COO of the company. And in conversations with him, we thought about educating not only the masses, but people that are in other countries, because in the English language, there's much more content out there, Bitcoin wise, than there is in other countries' languages. So that's where I thought we could be most impactful. So I asked myself, how can I maximize the amount of Bitcoin education? So in building a team that's very diverse, and then focusing in a country like Nigeria, before Satoshi's Journal, we come up with a nonprofit called Fix the Money, Fix the World. Fix the Money, Fix the World came out of what I just said, and we're focusing on translating a book by Anita Posh called Learn Big into the 3 most prominent Nigerian languages, Igbo, Hausa, and Yoruba. And that'll, if it were to maximize the amount of people it could reach, that would be about 80 million people. And we're in the process of doing that. Well, a little bit after that, that's when we thought about Satoshi's Journal, which is a for-profit company. And we're going to leverage our team's talent, our platform, to spread Bitcoin education and news. And I want to do things different than what other Bitcoin publications are doing. And so stuff that I've seen at Bitcoin Magazine, that's the beauty about starting a new company, is if you work for a company, you get to see what they did, you could do things better. And that's what the other reason why I started Satoshi's Journal is I wanted to just focus on Bitcoin pleb stories, news from around the world. And I also wanted to make sure that the content we provide is virgin content. It's the voice of the person. So most people, when they read our articles, will see that the actual what they read is the voice of the pleb. It's not quote unquote censored. So and then lastly, Satoshi's Journal, I noticed that there weren't publications out there that would pay their content creators. And so although we don't pay a lot, 25,000 Satoshis and 10,000 Satoshis, if you understand what Bitcoin is going to be in the future on a dollar sat parity, that's a lot.
It's like way back in the day when people would spend like thousands of Bitcoin on socks, those alpaca socks or whatever. In a few years, it'll be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny.
So you mentioned, sorry, go ahead.
That's why we started Satoshi's Journal.
You mentioned Fix the Money, Fix the World earlier, and here at Satoshi's Journal, we are like super diverse. I think we represent at least 6 languages. So there's Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, English, Spanish. Mary speaks Turkish as well. That's at least 6, right? Like, how amazing is that? Just as like a little treat, can you tell us how to say Fix the Money, Fix the World in Spanish?
Yeah, sure. So Fix the Money, Fix the World in Spanish is fixar el mundo, or sorry, fixar el dinero, fixar el mundo.
Mary, can you say that?
You mean, should I try it in Spanish?
Yeah, try it in Spanish.
Okay. Fixar el dinero, fixar el mundo. Yeah, right. in one go.
Now I know that you know all kinds of other languages. It's interesting because when you learn more languages, it just comes easier, I think.
Yeah, totally. It's funny because my last name is Gomez. Well, it's Gomez Fleury. Fleury is my married name. Anyways, after marriage, I did the hyphenation. And so people see Gomez and they always assume that I'm Hispanophone, or at least I speak Spanish fluently. And I don't at all. I learned at school, but Jeremy can teach me a bit more Spanish as we go along with Satoshi's Journal.
Yeah.
But it sounds close to French though.
Yeah, they're Latin-based languages. So there are similarities and there are some differences as well, especially for pronunciation with me.
So how would
Yeah.
you say fix the money, fix the world in French?
C'est une très bonne question. Fix the money, fix the world. I don't know. C'est améliorer l'argent, améliorer le monde, peut-être. That's like improve the money, improve the world. Guérir l'argent, guérir le monde. Actually, I don't know. I have to check in to see because I don't know that many like pure francophone Bitcoiners. So I'm going to come back to you with the right answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
I don't even know how to say it in Turkish. Like I don't know how the Turkish people would say it, but if I'm gonna say it literally, it will probably be parayı tamir et, dünyayı tamir et. So tamir et means to fix. So
Yeah.
so I mean, I hope our Turkish listeners will help correct me.
Yeah. Actually, that's a really good point. In the comments, tell us how to say it properly in Turkish and properly in French. Like, let's see if there's a consensus on what the saying is, or if it's only like an Anglo kind of concept.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be great.
So, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm good. Good, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, Jeremy, you mentioned earlier that you are CEO and co-founder of Satoshi's Journal. Is there anything you'd like to say to the plebs from your role as CEO and co-founder?
I think as a plebeian myself, as a pleb, however you want to say it, I just want to provide a platform, and I believe we are doing so currently after about a month and a half of being in existence, of you can come and either give us a written rendition of your Bitcoin story, an audio version or a video version or an audio video version. It'd have to be both, I guess, but we want to keep your story virgin, uncensored. Your content is yours. We don't own your content. And not just stories. I mean, if you have newsworthy content, basically Bitcoin only newsworthy and educational content is our modus operandi. It's basically, as soon as we start straying from that, we want to hear from the plebs. That's another thing that I want to make sure that as a company, we operate like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is an open monetary ledger that everyone can see. And I was telling Mary yesterday, if there's a double spend in Bitcoin, that's not possible. But if there's a double spend in a company, that's possible. And if the plebs see a double spend in the form of something they don't like, then we hope that they tell us. That's the point, is we're supposed to be Bitcoin only, education and news. And if it's an article that you don't like, or you think is not written well, or it doesn't have to do with Bitcoin, then please tell us. But that's the ultimate goal, is just to be a platform for the world. Eventually we want to translate everything into more than just those three prominent Nigerian languages. As we've just spoken, we have a Turkish speaking person, Mary, a French speaking person, Saidah. And so if we could get to the point where there's Bitcoin content, not just in English, but in every language possible, that's the goal. So eventually we're going to be, we currently are promoting businesses. So if you have a Bitcoin business and you want to be on our platform, we'd love to promote your business. And also if you're an artist, we're going to have that feature on our website where any artists, whether they're sculptors, painters, like drawing, we want to feature that art. What I found is we have a lot of Bitcoin plebs that are very, very talented. And until I started Satoshi's Journal, I didn't realize how talented and how these individuals weren't really showcased or promoted. Maybe not because they wanted to be, but I feel that they should be, because the work that some of these plebs are doing needs to be shown to the world. And so I don't see Satoshi's Journal as being a competitor to any company. And I'm hoping that this ethos is shared by all Bitcoin companies. And I do see that, but my ultimate goal, our ultimate goal, is to promote all Bitcoin businesses. I don't see us be competing against Bitcoin Magazine. I don't see us competing against CoinBeast, any other Bitcoin publication. Instead, where we can, we will promote them, and vice versa. And I think that's going to be the only way, not the only, one of the biggest ways that Bitcoin education and news is going to proliferate, by using a platform such as ours in complementary of all other Bitcoin platforms.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Wow, I was so touched by the inclusiveness of Satoshi's Journal. Like, I feel so touched. Artists are represented, authors are represented, those who are into video and audio are represented. I felt so touched. This is amazing.
Yeah, and from all corners of the world. Like it's super duper. It's like inclusion is just embedded. It's not even embedded, it's just what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Right now on the website, we have 3 businesses that we're promoting, and they're diverse. We have a company, I think it's out of France, Panties for Bitcoin.
Montreal.
Montreal.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pablo. Shout out, Pablo.
You're the one that told me about this. I never knew they existed until I met you. And then we have a gentleman out of California who makes Bitcoin apparel, shirts, hats, and his company is Bitcoin Defender, I believe. And then the last 2 more, actually. There's 2 children's books out there. There's actually a total of 4 that I know of. 2 of them are on our website. They gave me permission to promote them. Eventually, I want to promote all businesses, but this one in particular is called Bitcoin for Kiddos. It's a couple that wrote a children's book. And so if you go to the website, you'll find their logo, you click it, and you can go to their website. And then Shamory, it's a company founded by some plebs that they made a children's book, and they have a children's game. So that's just touching the surface on the talent in the pleb world as to what they're doing to do what we're doing, promote education and Bitcoin. So if you're a Bitcoin business, we'll continue to promote you guys, and on Twitter, maybe we can promote you on our website, YouTube. That's the goal. So promote all Bitcoin related businesses, education, and news.
Yeah, and for the businesses who make apparel, send it. We'll wear it. We'll feature it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If you guys make Bitcoin boxers, I can wear that, but I can't wear Bitcoin panties. So wearing boxers.
I got the bra top and the panties, and they're so comfortable. They wash well. Like, they're just wonderful.
Wow. I've been admiring their stuff for the longest time, and now that you gave that review, I'm definitely getting a pair.
Totally comfortable. So Jeremy, where can the plebs find Satoshi's Journal? Where can they find you?
Yeah. So satoshisjournal.com. If you go on there, we have our Twitter, Satoshi's Journal, at Satoshi's Journal. Satoshi's, you can see in the background, I think, is spelled like that. And so we're on Twitter, TikTok, satoshisjournal.com, and Instagram. And those are we'll eventually be YouTube, and that's about it right now. And then fixthemoneyfixtheworld.net is a nonprofit. So the goal with Satoshi's journal is that once we become profitable, we're going to allocate 10%. That's actually how our business articles of incorporations are written. 10% of the company's proceeds go to the fixthemoneyfixtheworld.net. And Fix the World, Fix the Money is not just about translating books into those 3 languages. We eventually want to build like a Bitcoin village. That's already, at least conceptually, we're speaking about it. We'll probably start off with building a small little school. My partner is already an educator of Bitcoin. And so the school would be the focus so that we could teach about Bitcoin within a Bitcoin school facility. And then because the area doesn't have like power, we'd also like to power it with Bitcoin. So we're thinking solar, and then with some miners, the miners powered by the solar. It's just it'll be a organic growth, just like Satoshi's journal. Nothing was planned. So that's where you can find both of those projects, satoshijournal.com and fixthemoneyfixtheworld.net.
Awesome. And well, I'm very curious about the fun stuff about you. Do you mind if you could share a few fun facts about yourself that nobody would expect?
Yeah, sure. As I said before, the government knows everything about me. I love to read. I'm a hunter, fisherman, mainly a hunter. I hunt in New Mexico. We have elk. There's several different types of elk in the world, but we have the Rocky Mountain elk, and then deer, mule deer, and then what else do I hunt? Oryx. Oryx is actually a African animal that was imported from Africa into New Mexico because our terrain climate is conducive of that. And then we also have an animal called an ibex imported from Iran. And I've never hunted. Well, I've hunted, but I was never successful. So, and then because I was an agricultural engineer for 5 years, I became entranced by farmers and just their self-sovereignty. And so I was inspired to become a small-time farmer. It's not my livelihood. Kudos to those farmers that it is their livelihood. They're the ones that put food on our plates. They don't get a lot of showcase, but they're the most sovereign of all people. They're probably, in my books, top 5 most intelligent people. They have to basically, they live off the land, and that's hard, and that's takes a lot of intellect. But more so than that, at their whim, they have to find solutions to problems, and they do that while everyone's doing their everyday 9 to 5, and they do that so that they can provide food not only for their family but also for the world. So so I like to try to just I try to learn how to farm, and I think it's an important skill. I grew up on a tiny little 1/4 acre plot of land in which my dad taught us farming. We had sheep, pigs, goats, chickens, and now I'm raising my son like that as well. So when he's my age, I want him to be able to know where his food comes from, how to plant a garden. So he's already learning. Yes, he likes to feed the goats.
Oh, and he's only 2. So precious.
Yeah, so it's fun to watch him out there with he gets the hay and puts it through the fence, and when they nibble at his finger, he gets giddy, and it's pretty cool. And so that's just I think that growing up on a farm did me a lot of good because It's better than any science class.
Mm.
That's science right and live for you. You get to see animals being birthed, baby animals.
Yeah.
You know where your food comes from. And so those are, I guess, are my fun facts. I'll leave it at that, I guess.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It is totally. I feel like if my father were to get together with you and your family, Jeremy, you guys would hit it off because my dad also grew up on a farm and he also lectured me about being frugal. He didn't use the term like low time preference when I was growing up, but he used to always say, don't go for instant gratification. So like those messages were repeated continuously. He was into gold, he was into silver. So I feel like you guys kind of have a lot in common. And maybe that's why I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, unbeknownst to most people, you guys are all my best friends. For me,
Aw.
I don't think I know anybody that doesn't. That's not my friend, but I consider everyone to be my friend. So I'm very, yeah, I can hit it off with virtually anybody. But what you just described of your father, and I'm sure we would. There's a lot to talk about. I could talk about farming all day, and farming. That's actually that my latest article was Satoshi was a farmer, and it's crazy because I mean, of course, I am, gosh dang it, I analogized Bitcoin to like a corn farm, and I highly recommend that you read it. Self promotion, sorry, but
Do it. That's what this platform is here for.
Yeah,
We'll drop it in the description. We'll drop the link in the description.
Yeah.
yeah, there you go. But if you read it, since your dad's a farmer, or
No,
have
he
your
grew
dad
up on a
read it.
farm. He didn't like with pigs and stuff. He wasn't a farmer
Oh,
directly.
but he grew up on a farm, so he'll be able to better understand my analogy. But farming and Bitcoin are one of many analogies that someone can use as a descriptor. And I think that's the beautiful thing about Bitcoin is I've read so many different stories, and you guys have all heard the Michael Saylor analogies on what Bitcoin is. The sky's the limit as to what you can analogize it to. And I think that's actually growing up, this will be the last thing I state. Money permeates everyone's lives so much so that there's certain
Yeah.
things that when people say money's not everything, I kind of disagree with that because if it weren't, then why do we work for it all our lives? And so money, they say, doesn't bring happiness. But if it didn't, I mean, I don't think your family would be very happy if they didn't have food on their tables. Um, so I learned a lot of things about money that changed my idea about what money was. And I really do think that to a certain extent, money is everything because our life's energy we spend to bring our
Yeah.
family happiness, food on their table, educate them, you name it, money permeates your whole life. So it behooves a person to learn what money is and to store their value in the best money ever created,
Yeah.
Bitcoin. So sorry for the long answer.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, but
Oh
this is
yeah.
Bitcoin, right? Like
Yeah, I've been known to talk a lot. So
No, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all.
okay, good. So that case, um, furthermore, but money is so important. And it's just I'll say one more thing. they so I grew up in a Christian-based family, and the love of money is the root of all evil. That always gets misinterpreted of money is the root of all evil. Well, the reason why, in my opinion, money, the love of money is the root of all evil, or money is the root of all evil, in my mind, is because money's broken. And because of that,
Wow, that
causes
hit hard. Yes.
money causes evil if it's broken. If it were, I mean, so that's a whole different rabbit hole ideological wise, and some people might disagree with me, but that's fine. To each his own opinion. My humble opinion, if the money was truly what money was, and it wasn't artificially inflated and controlled by central authorities, you wouldn't have. You'd still have wars, but they wouldn't be as bad, I think. I mean, every civilization that's collapsed is because of their money, and that collapse was due to a war. And so you're not going to fix the money, fix the world is another thing that I know even maxis don't like. But it's tongue in cheek. I mean, we don't literally mean you're going to fix the world if you fix the money, because you can't fix everything. But if you were to fix the money, that would fix a lot of the world. So please study money. And once you understand it, then you'll realize how broken our fiat system is. And under a Bitcoin standard, of which I think with organically we will get there, because humans naturally gravitate towards the truth, and it's going to take time, but eventually everyone will organically gravitate either by force or by education to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will fix a lot of the world's issues.
Yeah, I also grew up in a Christian household, and I do remember hearing repeatedly, money is the root of all evil. And I would say for the past month or so, I've been reflecting about that. And I came to the conclusion that it's the control of money is the root of all evil. It's the control aspect plus the money and the power that comes along. It's funny how we, on our own paths and through our own journeys, we kind of come to these realizations through Bitcoin.
Saidah, you wouldn't understand. I mean, you will understand, but the gravity of growing up in a Christian-based family as yourself, it's taken me on a whole nother rabbit trail, in which I am going to write an article that likens Bitcoin to, I don't necessarily want to liken it to religion, but if you're on Bitcoin Twitter spaces long enough and you hear such thing as Bitcoin is the way, the truth, and everything else is a shitcoin, in a Christian-based family, I mean, that's the same thing. Jesus's word was gospel. He was the word, and what everything he said is what is in the Bible, and you live by it. And all other ideologies are basically, I will say, shunned, but
highly discouraged.
but it's crazy, because even in my world religions course, I compared Muhammad to Jesus, and then right now I'm studying world religions to the point of just kind of seeing comparisons and contrasts between them.
Yeah.
And I'm a very open-minded person, and I like to read about the Native American religions, Hindus, everyone. And I'm going on a rabbit trail, but long story short, when you liken Bitcoin to our Christian-based ideologies, there's a lot of similarities. And that's why I think money is very powerful, is because if the word money or the word gold was used several hundred times in the Bible, well, that should tell you everything you need to know about money. Why would they talk about money so much in the Bible? I mean, in a good way and in a bad way. It's obviously very important. So even in religions, money is talked about a lot, more so than one would think. So it behooves a person to, I mean, the notion of tithing, I mean.
10%. Yep. I remember that too.
Yeah. So to a certain extent, one could say that it's good. But also there could be another argument, but I won't go down that route. So money permeates your life. It's important you learn about it. And Bitcoin is the best money ever. And when it's adopted in totality, it's going to fix a lot of issues.
Amen.
Go Bitcoin.
All right. Well, thank you, Jeremy, our CEO of Satoshi's Journal. Thank you so much. I know it's 6 a.m. over there for you in New Mexico. Thank you for taking part of your Saturday morning out to speak with us on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Mary and Saidah, and I look forward to continuing on with Satoshi Journal's mission. And please visit satoshijournal.com and fixthemoneyfixtheworld.net. Appreciate the support.
Thank you so much, Jeremy.